So this is the starting point of the Gita, when Arjuna sees this tremendous conflict and he's overwhelmed. Although he himself is a courageous, fearless warrior, he's not frightened of dying, but he's frightened of the terrible thing which he's being called upon to do, which is to kill innocent people and take part in this great slaughter. So, overwhelmed, he falls to the ground, he rejects the fighting, and he drops his bow. His bow is a fabled weapon called Gandiva, with enormous occult powers. But he drops his bow, and he sees only despair. That moment, which comes to us all at times in life, when I can't really see any way out, I only see darkness. He was in that space. And in that space, he couldn't see that his friend and guide Krishna was there, ready to help him. And it's said in the Gita that when Krishna saw Arjuna in this state, tears in his eyes, his hair standing on end, we're told, from the horror of the situation, Krishna smiled because he knew that this now was a door opening for his friend Arjuna to learn the truth about life. So this enabled Krishna to teach. And it's this, this willingness to hear in an uncritical way actually is very important. The ability to discriminate in life is a hugely important thing. But sometimes there are times when I have to put aside my critical side of my brain and just open up to hear, free of preconceptions. So that's a great moment that Arjuna entered that space at the beginning of the Gita. And Krishna begins by describing that Arjuna, no one here is going to die. Well, it may appear so, that people will be killed and die here, but in fact, the soul cannot be killed. Inside each and every one of us is an eternal spirit, which was never born and never will die, cannot be harmed in any way, cannot be cut by weapons, cannot be burned by fire, can't be moistened by water. This eternal being, undying, is what you are. Just as the sun lights up the universe, this consciousness lights up the body. Yet, although we are all eternal beings, we must work in this world. So then Krishna starts to speak about karma yoga. Karma yoga means how to work in the world without becoming caught up in the karmic results of my work. It's an art, how to be in this world but not to be bound by it, and not to be caught in the shadow which is always there. Knowledge of this path of action without reaction, Krishna says, is like if you have this wisdom, it's like a fire which burns to ashes the karmic results of your activities. And it's like a boat which will carry you across. This world is like an ocean of birth and death. But if you have this wisdom, it will carry you across this ocean. And even though you're living in this world, this place of suffering and frustration, you will not be touched by it. Just like a lotus flower which grows in the water, the roots of the lotus flower are in the mud at the bottom of the lake, but the flower itself is untouched by water. So one who has transcendental knowledge, wisdom, can live in this world and be untouched. And the mind of such a person can be calm. And Krishna says it can become still, just like a lamp in a windless place. So this inner place, which is within us all, this place of calmness and peace, we can discover this through the practice of yoga and meditation. So this ends the first third of the Gita, speaking about the mystery of the soul. Now Krishna starts to speak about the mystery of the Supreme Soul, the Universal Soul, whom we call God. He describes how there is a presence within the cosmos upon which everything depends. And Krishna says, I am that presence. I am the light of the sun and the moon. I am the taste of water. Everything is strung on me. Everything rests upon me, just as pearls are strung on a thread. So all of life depends upon me. And he urges Arjuna to think of me, Krishna says. Think of me, and even at the time of death, if you're absorbed in thoughts of me, at the time of death, when the soul leaves this body and the body is burned to ashes or put into the ground, the soul lives on, and the destination of the soul, my destination, depends on my consciousness, my awareness. So Krishna says, put your awareness on the divine. You can chant Om, you can chant other mantras, you can live your life as an act of service for the divine. Somehow or another, fix your mind upon the divine, and you will come to me at the time of death. This is the art of dying. And particularly in the Gita, Krishna recommends bhakti, or devotion. In everything that you do, make it as an offering to me. Even a simple thing like a flower. Offer me a flower, offer me some water. The food that you eat, you can offer to me, and thus it becomes sanctified and purified. All your activities, even the pains and the difficulties, offer them to me, and in this way you will become free. Because I am the source of all life, Krishna says, everything in this universe comes from me. And one who understands this, who sees the presence of the divine everywhere, finds deep, lasting joy and love. In fact, in the heart, Krishna says that I will fill you with wisdom. If you find this love, I will fill you with understanding and wisdom. Then Arjuna says to Krishna, if it's true that you exist everywhere and you are within everything, show me. I want to see that. And for many, this is the climax of the Gita, when Krishna shows Arjuna his universal form. Arjuna sees thousands of faces, thousands of eyes and arms spread everywhere in all directions. He sees all the elements of earth, fire and water and air and ether. He sees all the planets and the stars, everything assembled in one place.